Welcome to the Hot Zone. I'm your host, Golla. And in the Hot Zone today, we are joined by tennis champion and legendary John McEnroe, on hand as a coach of the Dove Men Plus Care Marathon team, leading a team of men in the fight against irritation in this year's 2013 New York City Marathon. Let's go in and chat with John about his involvement in this year's marathon and his phenomenal career.
It's not a sprint, it's a marathon, and marathons take focus, and there's going to be a lot of distractions coming your way.
We are in the Hot Zone, and I am joined with tennis champ John McEnroe. You are a 7-time Grand Slam singles winner, and now you're coaching a team of guys for the Dove Men Care team in the marathon. How does that feel? What is that transition like?
It's a lot easier than playing. You know, I could just pat him on the back and go, listen, you go ahead and run for 26.2 miles, which seems rather insane to begin with, but these guys did great, and they battled, and I mean, that's not easy. That's part of the reason why I've never done that. At least in tennis, I get to rest a little bit on the changeovers, but you know, you're going out with the idea of going 3-4 hours straight without having to get a break, so you got to dig deep mentally, you got to try to keep calm, which normally I'm not very good at, so I said, do as I say, not as I do.
So the preparation must have been pretty grueling for your guys. What was the training process like?
Well, you know, unlike tennis where we play a lot of matches, you may be only in one marathon or a couple a year at most. Some cases, guys are in their first one, so it's totally different, and the anxiety level is a lot higher because you're not doing it as often. So again, that's something that's really hard to prepare for, so you got to take a lot of time to sort of try to get the miles in, but not to do too much. I mean, you can overtrain pretty easily, and then you have to worry about not doing enough. So it's a constant battle trying to figure out what to do. Ultimately, the guys know their bodies way better than I do. I'm John McEnroe, and I know a thing or two about irritation.
Dove Men Plus Care Deodorant presents How to Fight Irritation with John McEnroe.
And knowing how much these guys are pushing themselves, they must be feeling some kind of physical irritation. And you've actually teamed up with the Dove Men Care Deodorant in order to fight that irritation and actually bring that forward. What do you tell your guys in terms of physical and emotional irritation when they're playing sports or just in life in general?
Well, who better than myself to talk about anti-irritation? So Dove Men Plus Care really hit the nail on the head, in my opinion. But I mean, there's not a whole lot you can say when it comes right down to it. My wife says, look, you could use a little deodorant, and maybe their respective misses are saying the same thing. But when you get out there and your mind's playing tricks on you and telling you can't do it, or you're getting all worked up, or your body's in pain and your mind is wondering how much longer you can take this, it's not easy, obviously. So it seems like you've got to dig deep within and try to keep positive, which is easier said than done. But when you finally cross the finish line, it all seems worth it.
And speaking of competition, you know all about competition. Who are some of the most competitive players that you played against throughout your career?
Oh, well, there's most athletes are very, very competitive. If I had to pick one, I'm going to go with Jimmy Connors. He was the guy that gave more of an effort than anyone that I ever saw on a tennis court. And Rafael Nadal would be maybe the closest to him these days in terms of trying as hard as he possibly can every point. But it'd be hard-pressed to find anyone, whether it was Borg, Lendl, Sampras, Agassi, all these great players that didn't look for a way to irritate me, which usually they were pretty successful at, and to compete hard. I needed the Dove earlier, like 20 years ago. I would have been better off.
Are you proud of your team's performance today?
I think that they gave it their all, and this is what the marathon's all about. There's a spirit to it, and clearly after what happened last year, not even having it, and what had happened earlier this year in Boston, it was important for everyone, the runners included, and people that live in New York like myself, that it came off without a hitch, and we're all proud of them.
Certainly, though. Thank you so much for joining us in the Hot Zone, John. You guys did an incredible job, and congratulations on finishing the race.
Thanks for having me.
That was our time in the hot zone. After last year's cancellation, John and his Dove Men Plus Care team can now say that they finished off the 2013 ING New York City Marathon.